Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Thorsten Schneider. I'm a lawyer and residing in Kassel, Germany, hosting this episode of my next vlog podcast today, which will cover the art of consultation. As I just said, I'm a lawyer, and since it is my job to give consultation to people, I recently had some discoveries in that area, which I am very eager to share with you, because I think maybe you can see yourself in some of them, and as well, for some of you, I might take away fear from you when you think about having to see a lawyer, because I realize that for many people, because they don't have a kind of this consultation that often, it's still loaded with fear about what will happen at the consultation and how all of this will go on. So that's why I decided to have and host an episode on the art of consultation at the lawyer's office. So I wanted to talk about what I recently discovered and to talk about my work as a lawyer as well. So maybe we should just start by me telling you how consultation in the lawyer's office, at least in my lawyer's office, will take place.
Ich habe ein Problem. Ich habe Schufa. Ми можемо якось цю шуфу подивитися, хто її на мене наклав.
Genau, also was wir jetzt machen ist, wir holen eine Datenkopie von der Schufa ein. Du hast ein Recht, eine Datenkopie zu bekommen bei der Schufa nach Paragraph oder Artikel 15 Datenschutzgrundverordnung, und das beantrage ich jetzt mit dir. Das kommt normalerweise in 5 bis 7 Tagen bei dir an. So, like at first you just get into contact, yeah? My business, it's very easy to get into contact. You just you have different ways of, you can just call, send an email. We have a digital client intake form which is available 24/7, so you can just hit the internet, go to our page, send a request for having an appointment, or send a request with your legal query, and we will answer to that very fast. With the digital client intake form, we already have like a form which is available in all the languages. You can just use the translation service of your browser, and it is available also like 24/7. You can just put your information. It just needs your personal information, like your data and your address, and just like usual or regular stuff like this. And then it asks you for certain aspects in respect to the legal query you have. So in respect to the actual case, of course, there will be different things asked for having traffic accident, in, for example, or if you want to have a filing for having child custody, or if you are a business owner working in any other area, and you need like help with I don't know, making up a contract or something, yeah. So these things are now very easy to handle. There's not that big amount of organization you need to have before. You just give the basic information, then you put some documents. You can also like just upload them at our online form, and then we can deal with it, look at it, and give you a first or initial consultation on that without any costs. And in this consultation, we tell you then how much it is most likely to cost, and if you want to be represented by our lawyer's firm, and what it is we can do for you. And then you can decide freely if you want to hire us
or if you just think, I don't know, I want ChatGPT and some other large language model to handle that for me. Because that's also something I realized, like with the invention of the large language models and they're getting better. Like every half of a year, there's like a big expansion in knowledge and how they are solving tasks. A lot of the correspondence which we are creating as a law firm now, or which I was creating as a lawyer before, I'm already handing over to legal clerks now, because with the right kind of instructions and some basic background knowledge, with combined, like collectively, with the usage of trained large language model, it just works like a charm. So if it's not about like a court hearing, like a criminal rights case or something, which needs like attention to the core of a lawyer who's defending your rights, maybe even in front of the judge in a court hearing, like the correspondence can be very well carried out by the legal clerk in collectively with an AI agent. But this also leads to a higher quality of work in our office, because what I realize is that before there was like this, let's say like knowledge barrier. Yeah, you paid a lawyer for having knowledge which you could not obtain in your past, and he or she had some knowledge which he then sells to you, like after behind the paywall. Yeah, and then gives some information to you or drafts correspondence or does whatever. And a lot of that knowledge now is just like available freely, because if you use the large language model right, it will very well draft first or initial appeals or applications for something. Of course, like if you don't have any background on like legal matters at all, you cannot even control if it's correct or not. So this is like something which I also think could lead to even more legal disputes in the future, because then people will just come and say like, yeah, I did this appeal with ChatGPT and it was shit and it didn't work out. So there has to be an actual person looking after it. But it would be a lie to say that we're not already using it, like everyone, like the big law firms, the small law firms, like all of the law firms the big ones are even developing their own large language models. The small law firms are not like developing their own large language models, of course, because they don't have the necessary funds to do it, but they just use their sandbox version of anything you can think of, ChatGPT, Mistral, or whatever it is. But in the end, I think it very much changes the way we will work together as people who like collect data and then somehow refine the data and like use it to create or draft something else, which is in essence what we as lawyers were doing. Like we're asking you for information on the facts, then we will use the facts and fuel them with our like legal background knowledge, and out of this we will form or draft an appeal or something. So if you do this collectively with I wouldn't say intelligence, because if you're aware how these large language models work, that's not really intelligent. It's just a mathematical procedure. So, but if you combine that, your intelligence with the capabilities of AI, this might lead to something called collective intelligence, which I think is way better description of the technology or how we should use it than to just think, oh, it's artificial intelligence. Like, it's not at all artificial intelligence. It's just math. It's just a weird, not weird is not the right word, but it's just a special form of math, of how to present an answer to a mathematical question, because you can put everything into math. Maybe not everything, maybe not the spark of life, because it will always be different the closer you look at it. If you look at the quarks thing and quantum mechanics and so on, but this would be like, I think, blowing up this podcast too much. What I wanted to say is that, in my opinion, like, all of the hype on artificial intelligence should be more concentrated on how we, together with our intelligence as humans, can use or make use of the capabilities of AI, which are very vast, and it's just a fucking new technology which is definitely to be recognized. And yeah, so I'm very interested in how this will change, because actually this, to go back to the topic of consultation, will also change the way how we will be doing consultation in the future a lot, because there will be way more time, if you're doing it correctly, for really working with the person and working with the people, instead of just like collecting data, fetching information, refining information, giving out information. If all of this is already done beforehand, your data has been fetched, collected, and everything, and you can really work with the people, you will, as a lawyer, be much more of like, say, a coach or a consultant than you have to be like this kind of lawyer who's going to just analyze the facts and refining it and then just writing it down, like in a very to most people at least, in a very strange way of using words together. And you will just more likely work with the people, because what I realized and just discovered recently, that this is very much recognized in the, let's say, like podcasts and coach scene, is that there's always, or mostly with any legal problems, there's always an underlying pattern or problems with behavior of people which led to the legal problem. Let me give an example. For example, I have a client, he owns a business and he has like 10, 20 lawsuits, yeah, and like with everyone, and he's a nice person, like he's a fine person, and he does not really get why he's constantly going into these lawsuits. And I got why it is like that, like, you know, because he's a business owner and he's like very, like, let's say, like an extrovert, yeah, and trying to be like hats on with everything, and like this typical guy of CEO. But by that, he is not really taking care of the, let's say, more boring parts of being a business owner, which means like doing your bank statements correctly, applying for the right kinds of I don't know, like authority permits, and neglecting bad offers from people you might not want, but which look nice on the outside. For example, like having a cinema spot, but then he's too much concerned with everything else and is not even producing the spot, missing the deadline of when to hand in the spot. So the company who offered him the spot just file a liability lawsuit and charge him like thousands of euros. And there was not even one single spot in the cinema. So it was just like, the baby was born dead, which is of no use for your company. So if you had taken that more seriously, not jumping so much from one thing to the other and taking the thing more seriously for yourself, this most likely would have not been happened. And so, like, okay, the legal problem mostly, if it's not an accident or something, and even then, but mostly the legal problem is just like let's say like a consequence of a behavioral pattern which you might not even recognize for yourself, but which leads in essence to you having 1, 2, 3, 5, 4 legal problems. So my approach as a lawyer, or like my business has like a wording which says, like in German, it's like mehr als nur Rechtsberatung, which means like more than just legal consultation. So what I'm always doing is, because I don't know why, but I see these patterns with people, I'm always trying to address the patterns, but because I think, yeah, of course you can, like, most of the time any legal problem is not a problem of life and death. Yeah, you can handle it, you can negotiate something. If it's like, let's say it's a big huge amount of payment you have to do, you can split it up in parts, you can talk between the parties. In most of the cases it's really not that life or death thing. People just, because like it's an argument and some do not know how to handle an argument, they put so much stress into that so that they are not even thinking clearly about solving the problem, but they are thinking about like winning. Yeah. And like, if there are two people in a lawsuit who want to win, obviously one will not get what he wants in the end, and will be most of the cases like really sad. So but some others are just there for bad luck. Yeah, that's people I really feel a lot with. But these are, in my experience, like really smaller percentage of people go into having a legal problem, but not like not having done anything in the last time before that to go into that situation. So most of the time, like, it's, you could really foresee it. Yeah. So I see myself in my like work as a lawyer also a lot as a coach. Yeah. And I just found that out because I was not at all listening to any podcasts or something, because I just didn't find the time to do so, because I was working so much. Like, building your law firm takes a lot of time, and I had like, of course, my own personal problems, as everyone has, and I just thought of not having enough time, which is actually a pattern I discovered for myself through these podcasts, which also led me to the idea that I will talk about my experiences in consultation and in doing the legal consultation, because it might give some insights to people as well. Because I discovered for myself, for example, that I'm through all of this, I want to build a law firm and all of this. Yeah, I was so much into stress and into overachieving, or trying to do everything at once. Yeah, being single dad or solo dad, having my law firm grow and expand, leading an NGO, and all of this should happen simultaneously, and nothing should be left aside. And I wanted to have yoga and self-care and everything. Yeah, and obviously that doesn't work. At least not if you are constantly pushing yourself, not pausing, like listening a lot of more, like not listening to an actual person, but having this receiving experience as well as having the experience of putting out something in the world.
So as I'm really just a newcomer to this, I messed up my recording, which I started yesterday in the evening, and just after finishing I realized that half of the recording was gone. So I have to go on now and trying to get a finish to this. So lastly, I was talking about the situation that this like kind of overachieving took me to a place which really didn't feel too comfortable for me, and still I knew in my heart that I was just like trying really to help people to be, as every one of us I think wants to be the best version of him or herself and so on, but I, coming from that experience and having made some discoveries now, I discovered that I just didn't have the right tool set. And even though I thought of myself as really self-reflective and so on, I had to realize that in areas that might not have been the case. So what I think is that you sometimes need to hear and maybe see or feel another person in order to really get to a point where you can be more reflective on yourself. And because I like to work with people very much, as I just said, like I'm doing consultations now for 5 years. Like in my law firm, we have one day now where I'm just like consulting people free of charge, just in some sort of like legal aid, which you can obtain in Germany for different reasons. They just have, or we made up a program where they just like donate like 10 euros to an NGO, and then they will get a legal consultation. And before that, after the war in Ukraine started, I was a founder of this NGO was just talking about, which did just humanitarian aid and intercultural gatherings, intercultural meetings, and just like brought people in society closer together, because I think that the space on our planet, like it's limited, and the numbers of people who are on it are steadily growing, and we did not really learn until now how to get along with each other respectfully, without harming each other. And this is very much necessary, because if we do not learn it, inevitably it leads to a lot of suffering, wars, and everything else you can spot on the planet right now. So in my opinion, it's very necessary to speak and find out how to get along with each other. And there's, like, we already developed a lot of tool sets for that. Like religion is one, but religion not in the sense of like Christianity or like Islam or Buddhism or something. Religion more in the meaning of like being faithful or having faith in yourself firstly and in others as well, and due to that be a little bit more like settled and not so much eager to defend whatever you think of as your rights, because in essence, like what I realized is that like it doesn't really matter so much. Like I work with people from really all over the planet now who came here to Germany like as immigrants, and I had a consultation with them like really from all parts of the world. They're from a lot of people from Eastern Europe, like Russians or Ukrainians, people from Africa, people from the Middle East, people from Canada, from America, people from Jamaica, people from British Guinea, people from like really from everywhere in the world. And if you are going like without, well, I think without, to say without is not true for anyone. Not in like, well, not completely, at least, like you can try to be without any bias before you meet someone, but mostly you see a person and you directly start to think something on them and project your past experiences on that moment. But if you are then trying to put that aside and really talk to the person like eye to eye and try to understand their problems, and for me, like I'm a lawyer, I'm doing this through law or through the means of law. I'm getting to know them, and I'm trying to understand, trying to stand in their shoes for a second. And if you do such things, you will more or most likely, in my opinion, find out that it is no difference wherever you are from or what kind of outwards appearance you have, like your skin tone or whatever. It's just one mind, and with all of them. And sometimes like there have been bad experiences in the past, and so they layer upon your core, upon your true core, which is in essence the same in my belief for everyone. And I really like to deconstruct these layers, because then people can live together better. They feel more happy. You can really see it in the faces when the stress is gone, and when they feel recognized, when you see them for who they are, and they see themselves for what they are, and they do not doubt their value because they are like, for example, they think they're just immigrants, and that doesn't matter. Like whatever you're doing, like that does not determine if you are worthy of love, worthy of whatever you're thinking. And yeah, I just through listening to other people, I found out that like, okay, my profession is a lawyer, but like that's what's written in my exam, yeah. And obviously I'm going to court and doing things like that. But what I really love, or what I really like, is more to speak to people, to coach people, and to make up my mind how we could live together in better ways. So that, because like I have a small boy, like he's 6 years old, and I grew up with him, like I think I just said, like I'm a solo dad. I grew up with him, like, and I spent a lot of time with him, and I saw how people come to this earth when there's no program at all, like written into their consciousness, and they're just cute and nice. And I think it's really up to us how we want the future societies to be. What do you want for your children or for yourself? What will happen in the future? Like you can determine it like just today and right now through your actions, through how you react to someone else's stress or let's say like abusive behavior or something. Like if you start to go into these patterns, then you can really it can really lead to a lot more of life quality for yourself, because you don't feel so much like oppressed by feelings towards yourself, by beating yourself up by other people and so on, and thus act more freely on whatever it is you are caring about. And I like for me, like if you just have the opportunity, I think everyone has something which he or she is really caring about. And Yeah, that's why I wanted to start this podcast, because I think I have something to share with you there. And I would be very happy, like, if there is someone who made like the same experiences, or like some. By the way, just a little thing. I'm talking in English because I think, firstly, I just like it, and secondly, I think, like, because I'm doing this in the World Wide Web, obviously, that there's more people which are able to listen to what I'm saying than if I would just talk German. And I'm talking German with a lot of my clients and in court, obviously, all of the time, and. I just like that language, and I'm also just a language guy, so I'm constantly learning like new languages, and I just really think that if we would like concentrate more, for me it's like the topic is, or an overall topic is like integration, immigration, intercultural competence, because I think you can gain so much from getting to know other people, their culture, their thought processes. You can, because you just have your view, your own view, which is in essence just an accumulation of your past experiences, and you are just one person who can be at one time at one place, and before you did not transcend this state of feeling as a person, then it is obviously not possible that you and the person like living on the other edge of the world, who's leading a completely different life, they will have other experiences, and if you combine them, you will have a more profound view on what's going on. But therefore you need to be open to be willing to integrate their experiences into yours and to share yours with them. So both can, like, you do not have to agree with it. Yeah, obviously not. Like, there's bad people in the world, of course. Not so much because I think that they are inherently bad, but maybe they do not have had the opportunity. They didn't have the opportunity to decide otherwise, because they were like stressed, didn't know about their psychological patterns, had to choose between them living and another one dying, or dying on their own and another one living, because they had to defend something in their families or whatever. Things like you, for example, like I, as a lawyer living in Germany, which is more or less like a really safe country, which we would never have to think about. And these people might bring completely different thought processes and experience to the table. And it's very interesting to find out about that and to talk about that. And I think that because to me it feels like the world is drifting towards more separation and towards like really like some sort of like dystopian movie where you have the rich or super rich, or however you want to call it, like the people with like the right means, yeah, who are living like in some sort of paradise, and then there's the rest who's going on with the lives as slaves, and like that just feels wrong to me. I don't know, like when I was born in '89, and then I grew up, like I was always of the opinion that the world is drifting towards more equality, towards like rights for people. That's in essence why I became a lawyer, yeah, because I thought like it's cool to fight for people's rights. And at least for me, in my experience, I found out now that law is often used to cement some inequality or injustice, because and that's why I'm doing these free consultations. People without the necessary funds or means, they don't even have the opportunity to use the tool set of law to defend their rights, because obviously they didn't know before. Like we talked about the large language models, which may bring some more justice to that. But still, that's also like a very young and new technology, and people have to learn how to deal with it in order to make use of it properly. After all, I just really think that we all have to connect better in order to lead the way to a future which is just feeling better, and which is in essence like providing the right kind of experience for humanity and for each and every single person to grow out of these like thought patterns which are not really freeing yourself, but more or less putting you in some sort of cage where in the end, like for example, my dad is 91 now, where in the end in your life you think, maybe I should have done what I really wanted, and not what society tried to tell me. Like, and there's like I don't know, like histories or like tales on that. They are all over even the ancient people. There's like there's yoga, there's Jesus, there's whoever you want to refer to. Like, it's more or less, in my opinion, they all point with the finger in the same direction. That in essence, like you're missing a big part of life if you think that it is everything laid out and like determined, and you have to do this and that in order to achieve this and that. I heard in a podcast, for example, and that's what resonated with me a lot. It's called Art of Accomplishment. So that's also a little like hint to my the name of my podcast now. And I heard that they were saying like the local thrift shop owner or the local store owner is probably not working more than some of the big CEOs making millions. So why it is justified that they get a lot of more from the cake, like money wise, if you want to say so, and connect like in comparison to the other one, which if they are just working the same. So it's not about. I think that's also like it's a well-known secret that it's not about like working hard. It's about like working smart. And I think if you say that, what you in essence are trying to say is that you are only really good in what you are doing if you feel that from your heart. And I would not say even from your heart, because people then always think they have to. It's just like it's a body reaction. You feel it in your whole system if something aligns with your purpose. So if this is so, then I recommend to, for myself and for everyone else, to recommend to stick with that, because this might seem being worthwhile for you in that moment at least. And there's no use of things you're just doing like in order to achieve something. Like it's not like a scoreboard or like a math puzzle where you just say like in order to achieve B, I have to do A, and in order to do to have A, I have to do na. So what I found out is that if you're just doing what you really like the rest will just fall in place, because then you're starting to create a world which is really for you and not for some false sense of you might think you have to be. For example, I can just talk it from my own perspective. Yeah, like I am a lawyer. At least that's what is on my exam record. Yeah. But I always wanted to coach and help people, empower people to consult them and how to feel better, in essence, how to be true to themselves. I did this through law, and I'm still doing this through law. But I never was this typical lawyer guy, like wearing suit all day, like just picking argument over argument, wanting to I don't know. Win, or however you want to put it, like just want to have my power over people, because in essence that really feels bad for me. It really I don't even like it that much. Like I like to empower people through law. That's something I really like about my job. What I really don't like about my job is like, for example, if I get to know a person and I really feel them and I see their pattern, which is not quite nice or even abusive to the outside world, and then they're taking out their purse and they want to pay me for defending their rights, or their, in my opinion, wrong approach in how to treat the world and people. And that's also why I started my own law firm, because I see that now, not back in the day, but because I am so much against all of these like rules which there are if you are, as a lawyer, for example, working in a company and they just tell you like, yeah, you go along with that client and whatever he or she's saying, that's what you're gonna do. And that's just not the way how I see my role. And yeah, so I had to find something else. And I think this is also something we can conclude with now. Like, I encourage anyone who is watching this to just try to find their own way. Like, I had so much different plans than where I, let's say, ended up now. Like, I always wanted to see the world. That's obviously also why I'm talking English. I never wanted to work in Germany. Now I'm a solo dad here. Like, we have joint custody. I don't know, who knows what that is, but it means like my son is one week with me, 1 week with his mom. Like, we live close by. We're not that much in contact anymore. But if I would leave here, I would leave him as well. And I cannot never ever like justify that for myself, because I just love to be in contact and in connection with him. And so I had to just arrange myself with just staying in my hometown, yeah. But still, like, I'm like in the middle of Germany now, and I'm starting to have clients from all over the world, as I just said. I have the opportunity to use the World Wide Web to do what I like and to talk in English. And so what I'm saying is, like, don't let what you want to do be determined by outside factors, at least if you are in a like comparable situation to me. There might be completely different situations which I am not even aware of right now, but I can just tell you, like, if you're living in one of the like, let's say, like European countries, top countries, if you go by GDP, you have all the means there are to use your time and build something which is really worthwhile, not only for you, but maybe for others as well. Start in voluntary organization, learn something new, start a podcast, do whatever it is in your heart, just do it wholeheartedly, and it will bring you so much joy, and it will be such an amazing experience that it can really, after a long time of being like caught up in these society norms, like it can really be a liberating experience, and frees up so much energy, and maybe even helps people to have kind of the same experience. So yeah, that's a little bit on consultation and how I see consultation in my office. Maybe I will find some people in the future who are willing to share their experience in having a consultation in my firm. So just because it would be interesting for me as well, yeah, to see how they are reacting to this approach. But as far as I know, mostly they are really okay with what I'm doing, but I didn't do a questionnaire so far. Maybe I should do that. And yeah, of course, like if you have any questions, and if you would like to have more inside information or whatever, you can just ask a question here on YouTube, or I would be happy if you would like, comment, and share my video. And of course, you can leave a follow on my channel, so in the future you would be informed if there's anything new. And with this, I wish all of you a good day, have a nice time, and be true to yourself.